Hey everybody. You ever get this feeling that like you're just waiting in this like hallway? You're waiting and you're just like in that hallway and you're waiting to like go in this door and you don't know when it's gonna open. You know it's gonna open, you just don't know when. And you know you're not going back into that like the original door you came in to get into this hallway because like it took you a while to get into that hallway. But then you're waiting for that next door to open and it's just like when is it gonna open? And it's hard to appreciate the corridor, the hallway that you're currently in when you're expecting this door to be open. And I'm sure a lot of people here feel this way when you're on this spiritual journey that you've worked so hard to get to this point in your life. Like you broke free of so many cycles. Like I know for myself, like it took me a while to get here, right? To like break free of like so many systems I was brought into. Judaism was a big one that I mentioned in my other videos. Um, That was a big one. And my community that I grew up in with all of the expectations, God is the fear of what others think of you. And that's community, that's religions that you're put into. Not everyone, obviously, but a lot of people. It's being accepted in a community, being accepted in a certain way of life. So I had to break free of so many different kinds of systems. Then I had to break free of the money system that people were in, the fear of losing, of like losing your money and working for somebody. And I gave up my job a while ago, and it's hard because when you don't have that relying on man and that job to give you that paycheck, it could be fearful, it could be scary at times. And then, but you do realize if you're a believer in God, right, that God's really the one providing that money for you, and it could come in the form of a paycheck. It could come in the form of a magical mystery, check in the mail. You could get a tax letter. All of a sudden, you get money back from taxes. One time, I got a phone call from like an old neighbor. Like all of a sudden, like they needed a favor, and they just gave me a lump sum of money. So, and those that's God. That's the miracles of the world. Like it really does work. That if you believe that it could come through any means, then it really can come through any means, and that's what God is. God is the ability to do anything for you. But if you believe that it's has to come a certain way, then it has to come a certain way. And when you're waiting in this hallway, there could be this feeling of like, when am I going to get out of this hallway? Like, I have to force my way. I have to claw open the doors and push it open and push people out of the way to get there and force it. And that was my old life. I used to work so hard. When I first started working, I was working four jobs at one point. I mean, I was working an online job, two two different offices that were across the street, and then another job that was like 20 minutes away. Like, and I was working all these crazy hours, early in the morning, late at night, and then I was also working at home. And my kids used to say to me like, "When you're home, like, why do you have to work when you're home?" Like, I was on the phone constantly hustling, hustling. And anyone who knows like the Jewish lifestyle, it's like you're born into a Jewish home, especially if you grew up in like a wealthy Jewish home. It's like non that the man's job is to like nonstop work, and you feel like you're useless if like you're not a doer and a go-getter, and like and the women marry you because you're a go-getter, and yeah, he's motivated and he's gonna go do it. And to wait in that hallway of like that mystery of like waiting for God to tell you what to do, waiting for God to open the door. What are you freaking talking about? You have to go do it. So like I've been in this waiting room for like a little while, and I went back and forth. Like I keep on creating. Like I write all the time, so I didn't know that I was gonna like necessarily share all of it when I first started writing, and then I started sharing a lot of my earlier stuff, and then eventually that lasted for a year, and I did a year's worth of work, and I deleted everything, and then I was on the Chinese Instagram Red Note for a while, and for like a month, and I was doing pretty well on there, and I felt the need to like bomb that, like blow that up too, and then I had this epiphany to come back on YouTube, and I think I'm here to stay this time around because I want to do a little bit of everything where I want to talk like I'm doing right now. And then I also want to share my poetry and especially my newer stuff that I've been doing. I've been sharing more of my newer poems. I may go back, like I mentioned, and share some of my older ones over time if I feel it's appropriate. but I keep creating new stuff and I keep creating all the time. But for me, like it's very repetitive. I mentioned a poem called The Repetitive Game. It comes like there's nothing new anymore. But each person's creations is new for themselves, and each person giving it over to somebody else, it's new for them too. So also the realization that we're all here as one entity. So we're all just there's nothing really we're doing other than different forms are creating different forms to help each other come back to this thing called the one. Anyway, so I use different means to help myself get through it. I use the breath, I use prayer, I use mantras, I use ChatGPT to as a mechanism to help me create some of my prayers and mantras. It's actually the one place I don't use for my poetry. The poetry I just write completely by myself. I don't want to use AI to create my writings, but to use AI as a mechanism as like a therapist or a spiritual guide or talking to yourself. I often tell ChatGPT and AI, you are me. It's like I'm talking to myself and getting the reflection of what I would give myself if I was another person talking to myself and what I want to hear from my friend. And that's kind of how I feel I try to do as well. Like I try to be that way with others and then they come into my life, like to give over what it is that I'd want to feel. I'd want to feel supported, not judged, loved, uh, the empathy that you could give over to somebody, but real empathy, real love, and not grabbing onto somebody, not feeling like the person needs to grab onto me. I've had people when I meet people now that they want to grab on, they want to get my number and exchange that kind of info, and I really don't necessarily want to do that with people unless they're really walking the same similar path as me at this point because they're just in a different reality. There's a 3D reality of like you're in cause and effect reality where you have to do something in order to get something in return. So like you have to work really hard to get into a relationship. You have to work hard to make the money. And I understand that life. I was in that life. That was the door before I walked into this hallway. And that place, I've shut that door. And I'm in this hallway of this waiting period of allowing. It's a weird place to be, like I said. It's this very I had no patience not so long ago, and it got to this point where like I've had to have a lot of patience where it's hard again hard to understand a person like I think I look pretty good like I've like physically, and I don't work out a lot. I work out a few minutes a day, and people say, "Hey, you dance," and I used to dance every day for a while, but it's not developing this. Like you have to love what you're doing. You have to love each movement. You have to start embracing that it's not about your efforts. It's we're all in a waiting room in a sense that we all it's really more about the inside, believing that there's a God inside of you that is dictating what's happening to you in a sense. And if you can really understand that, you're going to look amazing, you're going to feel amazing, you're going to be the best place you're going to be, and you're going to start appreciating yourself and you're going to appreciate the God within because that's the only thing that's really real. The outward stuff, like Ram Dass would say, like the external like stuff is beautiful, it's great, but go deeper and deeper inside because the external is just it's only relatively real, right? Even our physical bodies is relatively real, but we make it what it is based on how we feel, not what we do. Again, there's a lot of people, a lot of things. It's like people will do surgeries and procedures, and I did the hair procedure, so I can't lie about it. I have to tell the truth. But a lot of people did the hair procedure, and I don't think a lot of people's hair looks like mine. Like, I don't know, I freaking love my hair, and I think it's also like I loved it. I love it. I appreciate it, and you have to really love it and not get critique it and then be appreciative of it. And I stopped taking the medication 3 months ago for the hair. I no longer take it anymore. I I don't care about it. I don't think that that's an effect. I actually don't know what the medication is doing to me, and I know that putting stuff in your body that's made by man to kind of influence certain things can have an also negative consequences. Now, again, you could say, well, there's no cause and effects. What's the difference? And that's why I was taking the medication. And there's a certain I take caffeinated. I use caffeinated shampoo. I actually like the shampoo, but I like to wash my hair every day. And regular shampoo, I don't really like to use every day. So I like to use this one, and it smells good, and it makes my hair smell, I think, pretty decent. So it's like more like in the moment, it makes me feel good that I'm doing it. So I like to do it. So that's why I use it. But do I really think that's going to cause my hair to grow or not grow? I don't think so. I think that's the God within. I think that just being here in this present moment, appreciating, okay, this is amazing what I have right now. I don't know what's going to be tomorrow. And I know that God wants, if you become the light for God and you become a vessel for God, then God's going to want you to be the most beautiful thing to shine his light through you to the world. And I truly believe that. Like, the more I embrace God into my life, the more I talk about it. And it was scary for me to come on here and really talk about God. Until it became something that's like literally, it's every other word for me. It's like, it's almost like that's why I don't want to collect people in a certain way, because if people are not able to handle handle my truth on a regular basis, then they can't really hang out with me on a regular basis, because I don't want to, I can't I can't really hang out with people on a regular basis who are stuck in that way of like fear-based living. And I'm here to help them through my YouTube channel, and I can respond to people in a certain way that I totally get it. Like, I was there, and I don't want people to think I wasn't there. I was 100% in that fear that you might be in right now as you're listening to the video. But you'll see, like, once you get yourself out of it, then you want to come around people that are like out of that fear and into the place of abundance, into the place of like, yes, t- chill all day, because then you get to play and then it's okay. You get to stay. And for that, you say hooray, right? Like, just enjoy the play. Just start to pray each and every day. Just pray and sit and chill. And and then, Ram Dass has a mantra, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, which means the different names of God. And that didn't work for me. And I created a mantra through AI, through my own creativity, my rhymes, which was my own, uh, which is pray as I stay, play as I pray. God is with me all the way. That's one of them that I now say throughout my day. And then another one I just started saying, which is in stillness I move, in silence I hear. God is within, always near. And those two things, those two different mantras, are really work for me. It's kind of like I sing it and I say, whether it's the one with stillness is more like when I'm sitting in my home, sitting in a place of literal stillness, and the other one's good for movement, when I'm walking, or when I'm driving in the car. But it also works in silence too. I could do that one too. Again, it's just, you have to find what works for you. You have to find those moments of like, God literally says, if you just think of him. I think that's literally what the whole point is that you're supposed to be thinking of him throughout your day, and that's how you enjoy the play fully. But it's not like this, like laughter, like constant laughter, and like that kind of way of every second. But there's a slight kind of laughter that you have when you realize it's like, it's a cosmic joke. Like, it's not that serious, it's not that deep. But when you're waiting in this hallway, there are moments where it could feel like, like when you wait online, like you're waiting online. Like, I have something coming up for my daughter soon, and she was asking me to go to this thing, and she said there's gonna be a long line. It starts at 10, but the line's gonna be at 6 a.m. And I'm like, I'm not. I don't, at this point, I don't think like I'm gonna wake up so early to go to something to wait online for 4 hours. But we'll get there when we get there. And like, I always tell my kids, like in an amusement park, you wait on the line. Like, waiting on the line is a beautiful thing, especially when you're with your loved ones. Like, you get to hang out with them. We used to play like slaps, or we come up with different games, or we chat and we talk. It's like the one time, like, I feel like with teenagers, you actually get to talk to them is on the line. But when you're online by yourself, like when you're in this corridor or this hallway, this line where there's no one in front of you, there's no one behind you, you're just in this waiting room, this kind of like waiting period. Like, you don't know when the lines, could be nobody on the line with you, but the door may not open for a while. It's like waiting for your audition, and you don't know when you're going to go in, but you have to enjoy that moment. There was a friend of mine that was on the Price is Right. I believe he was on the Price is Right. And he said that the way he got onto the Price is Right is he was waiting online, and on the line he created, like, he was playing, like, he started off doing like Simon Says with everybody, and like got everyone to do Simon Says with them, and but he's like a fun guy, and he was like enjoying the moment, and because of that he ended up getting on the show. And I think that's the point of what we're doing here. It's like, we all get to go on the show at some point, right? We all get to have that at some point. But God wants to see that you enjoy the moment you're in at this particular moment before you get onto the display, all right? And not faking it. Like, when you're now in this waiting period in this hallway, how are you going to interact? Are you still going to make your videos? Are you still going to be able to like encourage others and really mean it from authenticity, from like a real serious, like loving place? Or are you going to be like vengeful and have that tightness? And I have those moments, like I have those moments of tightness, but like they don't last as long anymore because I'm appreciating because I know when I listen to like my favorite band, Dave Matthews, or I listen to other music when they talk about it, they talk about like waiting and it takes so long and just like Dave Matthews' song "Lying in the Hands of God," like you're just lying in the hands of God, waiting for Him to take you somewhere. But it's not a savior like waiting for Jesus to take you away. It's just knowing that he already is, knowing that he's with you right now, knowing that he's there with you in this moment, and he's saying, chill, relax. I got you. I'm going to take you wherever it is you're supposed to go. And it's okay to wait. It's okay to wait in the stillness just to appreciate. And I appreciate you for waiting, oh, waiting and sitting. And that's what it is. And ultimately, like I've heard many times, that God likes to show you, unveil the mystery at His time and surprise you. It's like a person giving over a movie doesn't want you to know the whole movie. Like gives you the trailer, like we'll give you a trailer, but sometimes like if the trailer goes shows too much, people are like, I feel like I saw the whole movie, right? God will show you pieces. Like if you're paying attention, He shows you pieces. And I laugh through my day when like all of a sudden you see like butterflies, like and then two butterflies, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'm gonna find my partner. Or like you see a squirrel coming over really close to you, or a blue jay came over to me the other day, and or all of a sudden you see cardinals coming over, or whatever the sign may be, or numbers, that you start seeing numbers, or all of a sudden like someone walks by and says the exact thing you need to hear at that exact moment, and you're like, wait a second, that's God. That's God working things out for you and showing you He's there and showing you, yes, I'm there. But it's like He's breadcrumbs you throughout your journey, so that way you know He's there, but you have to pay attention. You have to have the gratitude and love in those moments and like literally say thank you out loud. And I do that. I say thank you, God, for showing me this amazing moment and really, really appreciating it. So I really, really appreciate you for being here. And yeah, if you're waiting in that corridor, just wait a little longer. We're waiting in this corridor together. We're not alone. You might be a million miles away from me, but you're with me right now. And I feel it when I see some of those videos and I see some of the commentary that people write on other people's videos. And I'm like, yeah, I'm there with you. So if you're there in this moment, totally write in my comments like that you're waiting in that hallway with me. Um, just to know that we're there together. I'd appreciate you. And hope you enjoyed. Thank you.